How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Chief Master Instructor Kenny Smith, Total Force Training Group. This dumb, this dumbass sitting here talking to you right now. Last night I misread my schedule. I thought I had to be at work at 6 o'clock this morning. Yeah, well, idiot me didn't read good. Probably because I wasn't paying attention and I was watching Generation Kill, which is half my problem right now. I don't have to be at work till 9. And I got some stuff. It's alright though. I wound up staying up all night. I had some stuff I had to do beforehand, but that I have to have with me, so I'm going to go shave my head and all in a little bit. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and talk to y'all about some things. Let's talk about sleep deprivation and how it affects your body. You know, I'm used to going 24 hours, 48. I do 36 every other week. I'll stay up 36 hours straight, usually on the weekend when I don't have shit going on. I do that for the purpose of, if you're escaping and evading or just out camping, or maybe, I like going out in the woods. My family's got a lot of land out there, and, I could just as easily get lost, whatever. But it can happen. You may wind up where you have to go all night for some reason, Some of my friends are police officers, and it's not uncommon for them to, have stuff going on at home, and they work all night, have stuff going on all day, and go back at work the next night. So, we're going to talk about sleep deprivation a little bit. Best thing about sleep deprivation is it's good mental toughness training, and it's easy. Find something you enjoy doing and do it all friggin' night. But the way it affects your body, obviously, you fatigue faster, you're crankier, you're less sensitive to things, less sensitive to sound in particular, because you just want to go to sleep. Obviously, it's harder to stay focused. Like if you were to sit down, if I was pulling security somewhere right now, I put it this way: when I was at the Crucible at Paris Island, I was pulling security on the perimeter when we were going through the LRC. And the best thing about pulling security is you have that Kevlar on, you can catch the top brim of that Kevlar on the carry handle of that M16A2 and knock out for a little bit, but you couldn't go out all the way, otherwise you would wind up missing your turn to go through something and a drill instructor would have your ass. But, I don't know anybody in my platoon that didn't do that, but it got to the point where as soon as you went prone, it was just like, okay, I'm done. Same thing at other training evolutions. I had to explain to a platoon sergeant one time. Uh, this is kind of funny. I actually fell asleep behind a 240 Golf, and I had I had cami paint on, and there was a friggin' pick rail imprint in my cami paint right across here. It was extremely funny. I don't even remember what I told him. He knew the deal, and he was like, "Seriously, I can almost read the T numbers in that shit." So I got my ass chewed. It was pretty funny, but once you get sleep deprived, that's it. That's your body wants to sleep. That's all it wants to do. I was actually half tempted to get out and get started rucking, but I looked down at the time when I was thinking about that, and I was like, wait a minute, the gut truck comes from the chicken plant about this time. I really don't want to smell that on the way back home. So anyway, I figured I'd talk about sleep deprivation. You can train it. It's obviously easy to train. Stay awake all night. I would not suggest trying to learn how to deal with sleep deprivation when you have something strenuous going on. What are your friends when you're sleep deprived? Caffeine, creatine, and nicotine are what we used to talk about in the Marine Corps. Uh, you know, cre- Creatine's a weightlifter supplement. I don't use creatine anymore because apparently it does more harm than good. But I am going to take me a shot of Endo-Explode nitric oxide before long. That stuff will wake the dead, as will Rip Fuel, any of the thermogenics. If you actually watch Generation Kill, which is the cause of my problem last night, because my dumbass got started watching that and put it on full screen and kept it streaming. I was going to watch one, maybe 2 episodes, 4 later, as in 4 after that first one that I intended to watch. Yeah, that's kind of how that worked. But anyway, it's an awesome show. I don't care. It's worth it. But you talk about Rip Fuel. I remember I started taking Rip Fuel when I was in 29 Bomb because I'd heard people talking about how that shit kept them awake down range. I was like, that's awesome. So thermogenics are good for that, but you have to still make certain you're consuming enough water. Water by itself, um, you know, various NCOs I served with told me that water would keep you awake. I didn't notice that effect, but if you drink enough water to stay hydrated, you'll be pissing every hour just about. So that's worth something. Um, Another option you can look at coffee. Don't just drink it. What we did is we had at one particular school we didn't have access to tobacco, and you get a bunch of Marines and cut the tobacco off, and they start getting real enterprising, real quick. Like anybody that's not just Marines. It's I was out at Rapid Sage. We used to see people doing the same shit. we would get the Taster's Choice coffee out of our MREs and put that in our lip like dip. It tasted horrible, but again, it would wake the dead. Um, Another thing I found, Gatorade gives me a sugar rush. It only lasts for about 20 minutes for me, but at one point, uh, I used to make long road trips, about 6 hours each way, every couple of weekends. And me and a buddy of mine, and at one point, I was taking the Zenergy, oh, what the heck, they call it Xcelerate or something like that. I think they still make it. If they do, I'm going to get me some more of it, because that shit is awesome for staying awake. It runs me crazy when I take it normally, but I'm going to put it in my go bag. But anyway, I would take that. My buddy actually banned me from it. One of my friends has banned me from taking certain supplements before I come over there, because I'm naturally hyper. Anybody that's been around me for too long, I am naturally hyper. Um, Ask any of my ex-girlfriends that's been around me first thing in the morning. For about 10 to 15 minutes, I'm the meanest son of a bitch on the face of the planet until I get woke up, and then I usually get my coffee. I get my coffee or 2 or 3 glasses of good stout hot tea. And then I go back to normal, and I'm like, yeah, for about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm about like Beavis off Beavis and Butthead. When we were coming home from New Jersey, my dad got to experience me after killing off a monster import for the first time. I think he kind of wanted to kill me. But I'm just naturally hyper. But, even just something as simple as Gatorade kept me awake. And I had to learn that because one particular trip, my buddy didn't want to put up with me taking any more Accelerate, because when I took that shit, I was just like hyper as hell for 3 hours. And then I was normal for an hour or two, and then it was just like nap. 5 hour energy worked for me. I like the NOS energy shots when I was bouncing. Those work really, really well. I actually wore a triple magazine pouch on my duty belt. You can carry ass, pepper spray, stuff like that. But I actually didn't keep anything in there but those NOS power shots. I carried 3 with me. When I go to work at between 9 p.m. and 3 in the morning, all 3 of them would be gone. I mean, I'd be bouncing off the damn wall. But it was all right, because if anything popped off, I was the one biting at the bit and ready to go. So, because I was just like, time to go, 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 time to go. But and this is probably rambling, but that might be pretty funny, because like I said, I am kind of sleep deprived. But yeah, again, if you're sleep deprived, there is some stuff you can do about it. You should train sleep deprived. I don't mean you should come to a shooting class or anything, like a combatives class or anything like that, sleep deprived, because that's just dangerous. But you should learn how to deal with it. If you're going to drive the next morning, I wouldn't do it. But, every once in a while, once a month or so, I know some of y'all are more seasoned students of combat than others. I did not say old. I didn't say old. I said more seasoned. Anyway, if either way, once a month or so, because if you can get used to dealing with that, you can train your body and kind of keep it there, keep that edge sharpened a little bit. So if you ever have to do it, you can. Okay? Some of the physical effects of sleep deprivation, just to kind of hit them again: muscle fatigue quicker, you run out of endurance quicker, lack of focus, you feel lethargic. It, you are extremely tired. You get tired faster. The effects that you would normally feel when you get tired. By tired, I don't mean sleepy, because you're already sleepy. I mean like physically tired, exhaustion. You have to stay hydrated. You're less sensitive to things, to just about anything except like bright light and shit like that when you're sleep deprived. So it's harder to tell when you're dehydrated and stuff like that. To make sure you keep an eye on your condition, but I would definitely suggest everybody try and do at least 24 once a month or so. I know some of y'all aren't 25 anymore, but for those that are, try this shit. I know some of y'all are 18, 19, 20. Hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Just because you can party all night, I am 25 years old. I'm not an old man, and this stuff ain't easy, okay? So keep your edge, all right? Don't go out boozing, and that alcohol is a depressant. If you want to stay awake, don't drink. This is coming from a 6-year Marine veteran. And I'm saying, if you want to stay awake, don't drink. Alcohol puts you to sleep. Part of why I don't drink is when I start drinking, I want more, 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 more. And then I wind up falling asleep, okay? Anybody will. But if you consume a depressant, you're going to go to sleep. If you consume a stimulant, I'm not saying go take just every stimulant in the market. I'm saying, I know a few of y'all like the energy drinks and stuff like that. I do too at times. I said at times I can't drink them like I used to, because, again, I get extremely, extremely hyper. and then I start to annoy myself, and that's when you know you've got a problem. But if you know, drink an energy drink here and there, and and don't just stay up. I mean, eventually get to where you're doing something active. Like probably sometime this weekend, I'm thinking about, depending on what the weather's like, I'm thinking about going out in the land where I camp, pulling 36 or maybe even 48. I might get up tomorrow morning and stay up till Sunday. Might. 'Cause tomorrow's Friday here, but obviously it's here we're in the States. But today is the 28th, 27th, 28th February, something like that. Um, I could look, but I don't feel like looking on my phone, and my computer's not all the way booted up yet. Anyway, it's Thursday right now. Thinking about staying up Friday, staying up. Obviously going to bed tonight and getting up Friday morning and going to sleep sometime Sunday evening. Thinking about doing that. The more this day goes on, that'll start to seem like a dumb idea, though. But anyway, again, you may wind up in a situation where you have to stay awake for an extended period of time. Uh, so learn how to deal with it beforehand. Hope y'all enjoy this video. Hope y'all learned something. I'm going to get it put on YouTube. I'm going to go shave my head, and I'm going to go get ready to actually go to work for once. Normally I don't have to be in the office all day. I don't have to be there long today. But suffice it to say, I got stuff to do. Peace.